Welcome to Behind the Crafter. I'm your host JD, and we have our very first guest today. He's a young dad and husband who started doing YouTube as a hobby and then saw the potential it had for a career. And then eventually it became his full-time job before he expected it to. I'd like to give a big welcome to CringyGull. Hello, how are you doing?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing well. Thank you for having me here.
My pleasure. How's the weather down there in Australia?
Yeah, the weather's doing well. It is summer right now, so it is actually quite decent. How's the weather where you are?
Today is very nice. We about a week and a half ago we had a low temperature of minus 51 in the morning, and
Wow.
that I've never
Can't
experienced
comprehend
before.
that. I cannot comprehend minus. I can't even comprehend -1. Like, that's the coldest I've ever been. And I was like, how could it possibly be colder than this?
Well,
Yeah, wow.
today's minus 3 and it feels very nice. So
Yeah, I can
it feels
imagine
great.
after being in -51. That would be good, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't get that cold in Australia.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I'm down the bottom of Australia in Tasmania, so it
Hmm.
actually, this is the coldest like, this state is where it gets the coldest,
Right.
and the coldest it gets down here, I guess, like, in the morning, it gets down to like 0, maybe. It's
Hmm.
quite funny hearing, like, from people in other states of Australia when they're like on TV, like TV shows, they're like, "Oh, it's freezing, it's 19 degrees," and I'm like, "That's a really nice day."
That would be in
Yeah.
winter.
Yep, absolutely. Sorry, my
Um,
chair squeaked.
yep. All right. So, of course, I know all about your channel. You've got, what is it, 93,600 subscribers at this point.
Yeah.
Did you
Yep.
ever see yourself at this stage this early?
Yeah, wow. Well, I didn't really think it would happen in, like, last year. I didn't think that I'd be able to go full time last year. When I first started making Minecraft content, which was in the middle of 2022, I, after a few weeks of making content, I realized actually this is something that could become my job.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe by 2025, 2026. And then it happened like 9, 10 months later. It ended up becoming my full-time job. Or it was, I was working full-time hours, and I was still working like part-time, but I reduced my hours and I dropped out of course that I was doing. And then
Mm-hmm.
by the end of last year, 2023, I I was fully relying on YouTube now. So yeah, it kind of just came out of nowhere. I
Yeah.
was tossing up just like what to do with my life, and I was thinking about being a policeman or a
Mm-hmm.
teacher, or just I didn't even know. And then suddenly YouTube just happened.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's a lot of different things you could have been.
Mm,
Like myself, I've been a teacher, so I know what it's like to be talking in front of a lot of people.
mm,
And well, my classes were all pretty small though. But I've
yeah.
also done planetarium shows, as my degree is related to physics and astronomy. And
Mm,
so here I am doing YouTube, playing Minecraft, and here you are
yeah.
too. So what started you on this YouTube journey?
Yeah, well, I mean, I technically started making YouTube videos back when I was 12, so that would have been like 2012 because I was born in
Mm-hmm.
the year 2000. It's really easy to know what age I was in any year because of that. It's pretty good. Um, yeah, so I started making YouTube videos when I was 12, 13,
Mm-hmm.
just random stuff like anything ranging from what to do when you're bored videos, and then also just like random videos of me going outside and going on walks, or
Mm-hmm.
random videos of me talking, just really random stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and I never really took it very seriously. I guess I never really researched how to actually make good videos. I just did whatever, and sometimes I'd randomly get a video that got thousands of views, and then most of the time my videos got like 20 views.
Mm-hmm.
And then um, it was just a hobby. I never saw it as like a realistic thing, like for me to become a YouTuber, like that's my job.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took a few years away where I didn't really make any videos, and I just worked. Well, I guess I became an adult and I got real jobs and worked. And then I came back to it just with a group of friends just to have fun playing on a Minecraft server. And
Hmm.
it was my first time making consistent Minecraft content. And then, yeah, it all just took off from there.
Yeah. And did anyone inspire you?
I guess I was inspired by the YouTubers that I was watching at the time. Like, I was especially inspired by Hermitcraft at the time,
Right.
and the content I was making, I was copying, like, or not copying, but imitating what I'd seen on Hermitcraft, the kind of format of an episode where you play on a server, you do some builds, you get up to some shenanigans and pranks and stuff, and
Right.
it's all in like a 20-minute episode of just randomness, which was good fun.
Yeah. Well, you got to
Yeah.
start somewhere.
Yep.
Like I started. My channel started in 2019. So,
Right.
and I was inspired mainly by Whip and Mythical Sausage,
Yeah,
and
nice.
also Python. And it was interesting because I started doing Let's Plays. And
Mm,
looking back at my old videos, I was using this crappy old mono mic on my laptop, and I was getting
nice.
20 frames per second. And this was Bedrock Edition. I couldn't play Java at all.
Sounds
So
like quality content. Yeah.
yeah, well, the videos are still up, but
Oh, nice.
it
Nice.
was interesting to see how things go from the beginning to where I am now. But how
Mm.
about yourself? Have you looked at your oldest videos and thought this is terrible?
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious. Like I've gone back and looked and I've got like some like this really here's an example. I looked at some of my old shorts and there was this short of frogs on honey and they were instead of walking they were kind of just sliding on the blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the song playing this that goes like slip sliding away, that song. and and there was just a short of that. And I remember uploading that thinking, this has got to go viral. This is the one.
Mm-hmm.
And I look back, I'm like, what was I thinking? This is so stupid. And then also looking back at like even like my some of my videos that have got lots of views and I watch them and I cringe at things like the audio and some of the edits. It's just
Mm-hmm.
um like before I filtered my mic to make it like not peak and stuff and technical things like that. Like I have a good microphone, but learning how to actually use it well is another thing that I didn't think about. Like I thought, oh yeah, just have a good microphone, then my audio will be automatically good, but not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily. It'll be better than like a potato microphone, but still like you don't want it to peak and stuff. But yes, to answer your question, I do look back and I'm like, man, I did not know what I was doing, but at the time I thought that I was the king of YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, I had some experience with YouTube before I started my Minecraft channel because I was doing. It's a combination. My channel started as a Japan vlog channel because I was living in Japan until 2016, and then when my family came to Canada, I changed that channel. So I pivoted to BookTube. So I was talking about books,
That's cool. I
and
like the sounds of those channels.
yeah, well, it's still up, but uh, I haven't touched that channel since 2019,
Right.
and
Yep.
it's the reason I stopped was because my uh, I got a new iPhone at that time, and for some reason it would only record in 4K, and I could never get any of the files onto my computer. It would always stop transferring. Uh, so I couldn't do anything with it, and I didn't want to edit on my phone. So I just decided, okay, let's try something else, and I went with Minecraft because I'd been playing it for a couple of years at that time. So
Mm. Yeah.
that's how I got
Very good.
started. But
Mm.
where do you get your ideas from? Because you have some crazy ideas. Like
Yeah.
looking at your most recent video, you built a poisonous potato factory
Yes, I
and
did, and it's glorious.
and
Yeah.
10,000 seagulls.
Yep. Yeah, so I guess it all kind of started when I wanted to build a giant sniffer,
Mm-hmm.
and I was kind of like building it on the ground sounds annoying because I'd have to terraform probably because it'd be a giant sniffer.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll just build it in the sky, and then it'll just be a floating giant sniffer, which is kind of funny that it's just randomly floating. And then I thought, I mean, why not just give it wings? Why not turn it into an aeroplane? And
Yeah.
this was all while I was in the shower. I was just randomly thinking, like my brain is its own dimension of randomness, and I guess just like I like to brainstorm crazy stuff and think of like just funny ideas just when I guess like out and about like I guess it's just how I think in a way, but also just sitting down and thinking how do I make another ridiculous video, because I guess I've been inspired by people like Mumbo Jumbo, where I heard him say in the Imp and Skiz podcast, just fully commit to stupid ideas. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just if you got a dumb idea, fully commit or don't commit at all. And that really inspired me. And yeah, so it just kind of comes to my mind, or sometimes, often I'll see someone else do something, and they do it like unironically. They do something like build something cool. Like for example, I see Cookie God, the YouTuber, a Cookie God,
Mm-hmm.
he's made like an iron factory, a wool factory, a diamond factory, a gold factory, and I see that and I'm like, well, if I put my own twist on that, how about I make a poisonous potato factory and
Mm-hmm.
kind of just do something rather than useful. I just do something that's ridiculous. And I guess I just like to joke around and mess around and do silly things. Sometimes I um, start a project and then realize I really have given myself a ridiculous task here, like with the 10,000 seagulls. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. I did the math after building 100. I was like, well, this is going to take me about 60 hours. So, yeah, it's like I guess and then I fully committed to the idea, and it paid off really well. It's got
Mm-hmm.
over 100,000 views, and it's gotten me a lot of subscribers, and lots of people really loved it, and I really loved how the video turned out. It was a like massively fun video to make.
Yeah,
Um,
it'll.
yeah.
Yeah, I see the numbers there. It is one of your better performing ones recently.
Mm,
With a
It's the
hundred.
first hardcore. Sorry, um, it was the first hardcore episode to reach 100,000 views for like 6 months.
Oh, I
Which is
see.
pretty exciting. Yeah.
And you've got 100 nights with Hero Brine.
Mm.
Four hundred thirty-four
Yeah.
thousand views. Wow.
Yeah. So I guess the 100 days content is a fun way for me to be able to just play around with mods, because my hardcore world is vanilla and it's
Mm-hmm.
staying that way. But 100 days is a fun way for me to just play around with mods. Like I've done 100 days with Erebrine, 100 days in Lego Minecraft world, and I've got a few more 100 days things coming up like Skyblock, the Aether, all sorts of stuff that
Mm-hmm.
I've thought of that I want to do. And it's
Right.
also kind of evergreen content because I guess for some reason, lots of people just over time are watching my Herobrine video and my Lego video. So it's like they didn't just blow up, they're just gradually getting a consistent amount of daily views rather than just like I upload a video, gets tons of views, and then stops. It's totally different.
Right.
So I guess it's also just like another thing that's it's good for the channel. It's also hardcore content, so it's kind of different to a hardcore series, but yeah.
Yeah, that kind of slope in the
Mm,
analytics is what you
mm.
really want. You want it to
Yeah,
keep
it's great.
growing.
Yes, absolutely. It's really satisfying to see the line just like go up like a hill and keep on going, as opposed to just like it just shoots up and then it's flat. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
exciting when it shoots up, and then when it flatlines, it's like, oh man, come on, keep going. Why do you have to die?
Yeah.
It's my baby. Yeah.
Yeah, my typical tutorial gets an initial boost in the first 24 to 48 hours, and then
Yep.
it's pretty slow for a while, and then about 2 to 3 months later, the curve is exponential, and it
Mm.
keeps going up.
Yeah.
And like I've got many tutorials now with at least 100,000 views. And
That's
those
amazing.
and all of those were because of exponential growth, and they were just ranking very high, not only on YouTube but on Google as well. So I've got a lot of traffic from Google, which is
Yeah,
nice to see.
that makes sense. That makes sense because you do tutorials. And
Yeah.
that's the thing I love about YouTube, as opposed to like every other social media platform, is with YouTube, you can upload a video and it can still get views like 5 years from now.
Yeah.
People might still be interested in it, depending on the video. Some of them are only relevant for the week that they're uploaded, but then the ones that you can upload that people will enjoy 5 years from now, or be like get their questions answered 5 years from now, like it will still happen. And so like the more videos you upload, then the more potential your channel has to grow, because it's like, say I've got one video that gets maybe like 1,000 views per week, for example. And so maybe that might get me like, I don't know, $3 per week. It's like not much when you first do it. But if I build this channel over 10 years and maybe I get like 1,000 videos that get $3 per week, then that's $3,000 per week. That's insane money, and
Yeah.
it's possible. It's definitely possible. It just takes time, and it's a gradual process of making good videos that can last a while.
And what was the one moment that you felt that really started to propel your channel?
I think there's kind of a few things that changed that all went together that kind of just shot my channel into the sky. So I started working on making good intros that introduced the video and explained what was going to happen, and also like concise intros, not ones that take ages and ages to explain what's going to happen, or like I start the video, I'm like, by the way, my life is cool and stuff, and this person commented that, and then 2 minutes into the video, I'm like, anyway, we're talking about how to make a piston farm. Not that you can make one, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just get straight to the point, don't muck around, and get into the video. So learning to do good intros, and then also like once I started really like making actually good thumbnails that are simple, easy to comprehend in half a second, because that's apparent according to Netflix how long it takes for someone to look at a thumbnail. They only spend like half a second looking at it, and then they're on to the next one. Like really simple thumbnails that are also like eye-catching, that pop out of the YouTube feed to viewers. And also, so there's the intros, there's thumbnails, and then I think this one might be the most important one, is the idea of the video.
Yeah.
Because you could have an amazing thumbnail, you could have an amazing intro, but if your video is about making a carrot farm like next to your base that's like 5 blocks by 5 blocks, then no one cares, But if your idea is instead to cover like 10,000 blocks in carrots, then maybe people would be interested in that. In fact, maybe I should write that down. But like having a crazy idea that makes people think that they need to watch that video, like they're missing out if they're not watching it, or if they see it and it kind of, my goal for my videos is when they see my title and thumbnail, my goal is just to have them freeze for a moment and be like, what the heck? And then the video starts playing because of autoplay, and then they have to watch it.
Yeah.
That's kind of my goal, is to just like confuse people into watching my videos.
Yeah, the experts say that the title and the thumbnail are the most important things. Description doesn't matter. Tags are useless.
No.
Tags don't do a thing now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea, especially going into the video, the first few seconds.
Yeah.
That needs to grab. That really needs to grab everyone's attention.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Tags. Here's a thing I saw with tags. So my most popular video has 1.8 million views. And guess how many views are from hashtags that are in the description of that video?
Very few.
15.
15.
15 views are from the hashtags I put in the description.
I remember when they introduced hashtags, and it turned out that they did nothing. Absolutely
Yep.
nothing. And
Yeah.
all of the channels that teach you how to grow a channel, they say don't even bother with them. Actually,
Yeah.
don't even bother with regular tags, because the only thing you should really use them for is for misspellings. They don't even enter the algorithm. Don't even try. The important thing, get your keywords in the title.
Yes.
Put some emotion in it, and eye-catching thumbnail. Actually, some people like Etho doesn't even do any work on his thumbnail.
Yeah,
It's just
that's an interesting case.
Yeah. But he's like one of the very first Minecraft Let's Players.
Yeah.
And
He's got the longest world. Yeah.
yeah, he's been doing this for years, and he gets the views because he's Etho.
Yep. That's true. It's because he's Etho.
Yep.
That's why, like, I wasn't succeeding when I first started, when I was imitating Hermitcraft, because I'm not someone who already has this loyal audience. Like, I was a nobody. Nobody knew me. And so I didn't have the license to go and make videos without thumbnails, make videos without like an intro that explains what's going to happen. Like, I watch these other YouTubers, they've got millions of subscribers, and I watch a video of theirs, and sometimes it takes them 2 minutes to get around to what the video is actually about, and then yet they're number one on trending. It's like, it's because they've got the license to do that, because they've got that huge following that is loyal. But when you're trying to grow, when you're not actually like already like there, you don't have the license to do that.
Yeah. Now, speaking of names, where does CringyGull come from?
Ah, yes. Yes. So I guess I remember with my old channel where I uploaded just random stuff. When I was about 16, my friend told me when we came to school, he told me I went on a cringe binge last night. Meaning he watched a bunch of my videos. And
Okay.
so I was like, yeah. I mean, and it kind of hit me. Yeah, I make really cringy videos. And then I guess a few months later, or maybe even a year later, actually. Yeah, a year later, I unlisted all those videos. And then eventually, when I was deciding a new name for my Minecraft account, because my name was, just one of those things you'd like when you're 12 years old and you'd come up with an email or a username. It's always ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was coming up with a new name, and before I changed it on Minecraft, I changed it on like Steam and Discord and stuff to CringyGull. Because I was like, oh yeah, red. Crimson's a cool version of red. And then eventually I was like, actually, it's kind of cringy. And then I was like, oh wait, yeah, cringy. That's kind of my thing. So I just went with CringyGull. And with seagulls, it's just I think they're kind of funny, and just kind of, I guess, had a little phase around that time where I was obsessing over seagulls. Yeah.
It's a catchy name.
Yeah, it's I like it. It's unique, and
yeah, it is. It's memorable.
Yeah. That's good. I'm glad you think so.
So, what motivates you to keep on going?
Yes. So I think that a really important thing when it comes to motivation is your reason why you're doing something. So if you're doing YouTube and your reason why is because you're bored, then you're only going to go so far as like until you find YouTube boring.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're doing YouTube because you want to start a business, or because you want to be famous, or if you want to just like provide extra money for your family, then that'll change how you approach it.
Yes.
And so I guess my most powerful why for why I do YouTube is Well, I guess there's a top two. One is because it's just I really love being able to express my creativity and share it with an audience.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I've always dreamed of doing, is to have an audience that I can share my creativity with, my silliness with, my music with. And the other reason why is for my wife and daughter,
Mm-hmm.
because well, I guess it's the only stream of income into our household, so it is really important that I continue doing that. Otherwise, I'd be working at a minimum wage, probably like 2 days a week at another job, which isn't exactly enough to pay all the bills these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are very energetic in your videos.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you stay so energetic? Not just in videos, but live streams too.
Mm. Yeah. I guess I have my moments because in live streams at the start of the streams, I am hyped. I'm so
Yeah.
excited to get going. And then by the end of the stream, I'm a lot more chill. Sometimes I'm kind of obviously tired
Mm-hmm.
where I kind of just like, I'm tired, I want to go, goodbye. Um, kind of thing. There are a few techniques if I'm actually really not feeling the energy. There are a few things that I'll do if I need the energy. One thing that I've discovered recently is to just clap. It's crazy how much one clap can do.
Hmm.
Like if you just clap your hands once, then I don't know what it does. It does something to your body where it just like surges energy through from your hands through to the rest of your body and your
Mm-hmm.
brain. And then suddenly it just makes me be able to just get into it, you know? It's just like, all right, let's do this, you know?
Interesting.
Um, or even like letting out kind of just like a woo, you know, you just kind of wake yourself up almost.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I've been doing recently. Like while I was streaming last week, I've been placing tons of snow in the nether, and it was exhausting,
Yeah, I
and
saw
so
part of
it got
that.
to the point where I was like, all right, guys, I'm just gonna clap now, and I just clapped, and then I had a lot more energy. It's
Mm-hmm.
really weird, but it works really well. Another thing that I like to do that gets me excited and energetic is just listening to music that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
And I find with YouTube, listening to soundtracks that I like putting in my videos, like kind of exciting songs and stuff that kind of gets me hyped and I guess complements the video. That gets me really energetic and keen to just like, yeah, do what I need to do.
Right.
Um, and then I guess there's a bunch of other stuff, just like with keeping on task and just not getting too drained is to just I guess I go for regular walks. I go for a walk every single day, about an hour walk, and then during my breaks, so I have a very structured day actually. So I start work 7:30 a.m. every morning and finish either 4 o'clock or 4:30 in the
Mm-hmm.
afternoon. And then at 10 o'clock, I'll have a 15-minute break. 12 o'clock, I'll have a lunch break that goes for 30 minutes. And then at 2 o'clock, I have a 15-minute break. Sometimes I might not take those 15-minute breaks if I'm really in the zone. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to interrupt how I'm going. And in those breaks, if there's time, I might just go for a real quick 5-minute walk around the block, get some fresh air, and that'll really just, I guess, freshen up my mind and energy to keep on going. Um, and get my like, yeah, because like sitting in the chair for hours does just like kind of drain me out. Which is kind of funny because it's not like it's physical labor; it's just
Yeah,
mentally draining.
it is. Yeah.
And also I don't know, it's almost physical labor on my backside in a way because
Mm-hmm.
it's uncomfortable after a while. I'm actually getting a sit stand desk soon. I've
Oh,
ordered
okay.
one. Really excited for that. It'll be good. Can't wait. Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to be the opposite. I'm known for being very calm. A lot of people comment on that. They say I'm very calm.
Mm.
I'm not one of those crazy YouTubers that has to scream all the time.
Yeah.
And people have said thank you for
Yeah.
not being like that.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
but during live streams, I'm not a very, very outgoing person. And towards the end of a live stream, I tend to get a bit tired, quiet. I'm
Yep.
very much an introvert in that way. I use up so much of my energy just constantly trying to talk. And like I just recently got back into live streaming because I was, well, my 2-year-old daughter, when she was born, I found that my time to be able to live stream was very limited. So I wouldn't be able to do it for any good amount of time because I might be needed to help out. And so during that time, I pretty much lost all of my audience, and I've been regularly live streaming for the last 2 weeks, and that's it. So it's fairly quiet at the moment. I know it'll go back up, but it's interesting if you have one person watching your stream and you have to keep talking. Because if other people come in, they'll see either this person is talking or this person is quiet and not very interesting. So I just keep talking, just like I'm recording a video. And
absolutely.
What I find is the second half of my streams, the number of viewers increases, and it keeps increasing and increasing, and people are sticking around. But my streams are fairly short, so by the time I'm getting the audience, I'm saying goodbye.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I need to figure out how to get the time to do longer live streams, because it's not the easiest thing in the evening for me. I may even do some very late night live streams because apparently there are a lot of viewers at that time and less competition. At least late night for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I totally agree. Like, keeping on talking during a live stream, that's kind of something I drilled into my mind when I first started live streaming. It was a piece of advice I got from a friend, is just keep on talking. Don't stop talking. And it makes for a good live stream, but it takes a lot of energy to constantly talk. And it's not like you're talking. It's not like you can have another person there talking to you, unless you're doing like you're in a call with someone in the stream. But when you're doing something by yourself, you just keep talking, keep talking. And it's just, after a while, it's like kind of it's really draining, or you run out of things to say. And yeah, it's tough to do a long live stream. Like, I can't go past 2 hours. I really want to. I want to be able to do 3-hour live streams, but by the time it gets to about an hour and a half is when I'm usually like starting to be like, I need to go and sleep. I need to go for a walk or something. Like, and I love my audience. It's not like they tire me out. It's just the constant talking is really exhausting. Something I want to get better at. Yeah.
You have a fairly active chat when you live stream.
Yep.
So I'm sure you are not able to keep up much of the time. When you've got a lot of people talking, you really can't, or else you're not going to do anything. And sometimes when I have a busy chat, I get a little distracted by them, and I end up just wandering around doing nothing. And because if I want to build something, I need to concentrate on it. And if there's people talking in my chat, it just distracts me a lot. How do you deal with that?
I guess I have times where I dip in and out of chat, where when I need to focus, like if I'm doing something risky in my hardcore world, or if I'm just like trying to build something, I am basically blind to chat. Like, I can hardly check chat while I'm building. It's like when a super chat appears, then that like gets my attention, because there's like this big colorful bubble that appears on the right of my vision. But yeah, when I'm concentrating, I'm just completely blind to chat. And sometimes it really irritates some of my viewers. Like, seeing some messages in all caps, I hate Cringy because he doesn't read chat ever. and I'm like, Yes, I do. You just come to a point where I'm focusing right now. But then that's a message I need to ignore because as soon as I start addressing those messages, then people realize that they get my attention by saying things like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then there's also lots of messages that I need to ignore while I'm actually paying attention to chat. Like I ignore the messages saying, "Can I have a shout out?" And things like that because as soon as I start saying yes to something like that, then everyone, and that's like usually I'm averaging at about 100 viewers, 120 viewers, something like that per
Mm-hmm.
stream. I mean, everyone will start asking for a shout out. And then the next
Yeah.
stream, everyone will ask for a shout out. So it's something that I can't exactly um, pay attention to. Um, so there's some tricky things there. But then when I'm doing something like, say I'm AFKing some supplies in Minecraft, like last stream I was mining snow and I was able to just like, well, I didn't have to do anything other than hold down click.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I had a really good catch up with everyone. And I
Yeah.
think that's really important because one of the reasons why people come to live streams is because they want to interact with their like with the YouTuber they like,
Right.
and just like have an unfiltered kind of conversation, ask questions, um, tell them things about like their life and stuff. Like that's what the viewer, like some viewers want. Other viewers they just want like they just want to hang out and enjoy a chill live stream. There's lots of different reasons why people come.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's also just like a great way to connect with your audience because I guess it's just like this fun time where you spend a couple hours playing Minecraft where they watch you and you talk to them and it's pretty sweet. I
Mm-hmm.
like it. It's good. It does get scary sometimes when some of them get angry at me when I'm trying not to die
Uh-huh.
so I can't read chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to videos, what is your
Yes.
typical recording and editing session like? Like, what do you do to go from
Mm.
idea to finished video?
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I'll think of an idea sometimes weeks before I actually start
Mm-hmm.
making the video. Um, but yeah, I think of the idea. I write it down because it's like there should be a graveyard for ideas that I don't write down and then forget. Like it's
Yeah.
insane. So I very much just need to write it down. Sometimes I'll just message it to my wife. I'll say something like "Poisonous Potato Factory," and she has no context.
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, think of the idea and get it down somewhere. Typically, I've just got this ideas list in Google Drive. That's where all my ideas generally go. Um, and then I have this template for how I plan a video.
Mm-hmm.
Um, where if I'll just get it up in front of me, that would make my life easier. So I have this template where I'll write down the title, or if I don't have a specific title in mind, I'll write down a bunch of ideas. I'll write down what I think the thumbnail could be. Or sometimes I'll do the thumbnail first because that kind of helps me envision the video more.
Mm-hmm.
It's either start planning the video or start the thumbnail first. It's generally I see it as more part of the same process. Sometimes I can't do the thumbnail until I've finished the video because it's a
Yeah.
Minecraft build that I just maybe I'll be able to do a part of it in creative. Sometimes I can't. Depends.
Right.
And then I write down what the first frame of the video should be because people only see the thumbnail for like what 1 second before the video starts playing if they're on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first frame should like instantly be what they want to see. Um, yeah, so like for the Poisonous Potato Factory, the first frame is a poisonous potato. For the when I turned the end island into wheat, the first frame is the end island. For the Seagull Army, the first frame is me with a seagull. So it's very important to make the first frame relevant. Lots of the time, I see lots of YouTubers like that, like smaller YouTubers. Their first frame is just them walking, and if I didn't know them and if I don't like, if I don't have a connection with that YouTuber, if I've never seen them before, it's like I don't care who you are. To be brutally honest, it's like, who are you to walk in the desert talking to me about something random? Like you got to kind of hook them with that first frame, that first
Yeah.
visual.
Right.
And then I've got a intro that I might write down a bit of a like how I kind of want to start the video, and then for the rest of the planning of the video, with like this is kind of it's not so much planning the video as like a script where I write everything that I'm going to do in the video. It's more like an idea of how I think the video will play out. And I follow a formula of like a narrative arc where like every story in the world pretty much follows this formula where you start off by setting the scene where let's use what's a movie I've watched recently that everyone knows. Let's start with Shrek. Let's use Shrek as an example.
Okay.
You set the scene. You got an ogre in his swamp. He loves his life in his swamp, right? And then the problem comes along where where all these fairy tale creatures want to live in his swamp because they've been like, I can't remember, they want to be there for some reason. I can't remember why, but
I can't either.
The the rising action then is Shrek goes to get Princess Fiona to bring to what's his name, the dude that's the king.
Oh, Farquaad.
And yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that everyone goes away. And so the rising action is like the longest part of any story where it's like them, the characters are going to like doing what they can to solve the problem. And then the climax is, it's a climax. It's where it's kind of maybe it's all or nothing, or maybe it's just like the peak of the story where it's like the like we're about to find out if they're going to succeed or fail. And then there's the falling action where everything kind of calms down from the climax. And then there's the resolution where it's like, this is what life is now.
Right.
And that's what I follow for my Minecraft videos. I do the exact same thing where I'll set the scene. I'll be like, this is a poisonous potato and I want to build a factory for it. And then the problem is I don't have any blocks. You'll see at the start of every one of my videos where I build something, it's me saying, I want to do this, but I don't have blocks. I want to do this, but I don't have blocks. I want to do this, but I don't have blocks.
Yeah.
Every single time. And then the rising action is me getting the blocks and then building the build. And the climax is like an epic kind of final time lapse of me finishing the build. And then the falling action is me being like, wow, this build is so cool. And then the resolution is like some joke. And then it goes on to the end screen. So that's how my videos play out as far as planning. I haven't even talked about editing yet.
Yeah.
Basically, it's not as like crazy as it is with the planning stuff. Like I guess it's just sometimes I'll record a huge amount of clips and then edit them. Sometimes I will record one clip at a time and edit it in. It just depends. I prefer to kind of edit and record as I go. It's not as efficient to do it that way. Definitely not as efficient, but it really helps me with knowing what kind of energy I need to be presenting in the video. Because if you have, I hate those videos. Well, hate's a strong word, but I like those videos. There's like YouTube videos where it's constant hype, where it's like bam, 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 done. It's just overwhelming. Like it's crazy. And I know my videos can be crazy, but you need to have quiet moments. You need to kind of fluctuate between upbeat and chill times in the video to tell the story. Like you'll have in movies, you have like intense, exciting scenes, and then afterwards it's like, have a moment to breathe. So that's kind of what I do for my videos. That's why I go like record and edit as I go, so that I can have like, so I know how the feel of the video needs to be. If I need to have an exciting kind of time lapse, or if I need to just like chill and stuff like that. So yeah, that's generally the process of me making a video.
Yeah, and spoiler alert for my current hardcore video. I am complaining about cutting down mangrove trees because I do use a lot of mangrove in the build. And at the moment, I'm hiding in my house because I'm surrounded by pillagers.
Oh my.
And
Yep.
I have iron, just all iron armor. That's it.
Oh dear, that's not lots. Is there a raid?
No, but
Okay.
I am near a village. But I'm thinking I'm gonna have
Yep.
to run out the back door as fast as I can, go over the mountain, and down the other side. There are a couple of things I still need to finish this build.
Yep.
Very important things that I need, but I've been very unlucky. And I don't want to say anything
Yes.
more about this, but when you have one of those recording sessions where nothing's going your way, that creates a
Yes.
bit of tension in the video as
Yep,
well.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, having those problems, like that's one of the things like in the rising action of the video where you're solving your initial problem. Having more problems along the way is actually great for the video.
Yeah,
Like it
I've got
actually
many.
it really works out well. Yep. I have a lot in your video. Yep. Yeah, like for the current video that I'm working on, my XP farm broke twice in the
Oh,
video. And it was just like, this is so annoying. I had to keep spawning in a new Endermite because it was an Enderman farm.
oh,
Um, yeah,
that
and
would be annoying.
yeah, it's like the worst part of the farm, and it's the one thing that kept breaking. So, yeah, but it just adds to the story. It adds to the journey. Like my videos, they're not just me kind of, I guess, randomly going about my world. Like in like my first bits, like my first videos, it used to just me being on a server. I find random things to do and make a 20-minute video of doing random stuff.
Hmm.
Whereas now it's like, here's a mission, here's a build I want to do, or here's an adventure I want to go on, and then the whole video is about achieving that.
Yeah.
And so when there are other problems that come along the way, it's definitely interesting. Like I'm really pleased with what happened in my potato factory video. I ran out of gold, which I needed for minecart rails, the
Hmm.
powered rails. And so I didn't want to go mining for it, so I decided to go to a bastion for it. And that was just an awesome little side quest to go on
Yeah.
to add to the video because I get to go on a little dangerous adventure for a video that should be harmless, me making a factory. Like it's a hardcore video, there's like nothing's gonna happen in that video, but then there's that little side quest to go on, which
Hmm.
added to the story really well.
Yeah.
So yeah, like side quests. Like I've got friends that will have like spend hours trying to do something in Minecraft, and they only mention it in the video, being like, "This took me hours," and it's just like they skip the whole problem solving process, which is like a great part of the story.
Hmm.
So yeah,
So a lot of people, when they see YouTube channels, they listen to the people who are talking in the videos, and they, I don't know, they leave comments and all that stuff, and they're probably thinking, is this person really doing this for a living, or are they just, is it just a hobby? For most, the vast majority, of course, it's just a hobby. But for some like you, you're of course doing this full time now.
mm.
And so what was it like to transition into this kind of job? Because it is a job.
Mm.
Again, a lot of
Yes.
people don't even think that it is, because you're making a living doing YouTube or Twitch if you're streaming on Twitch as well.
Mm.
But it is a job. There's so much that is involved in making a video. It takes a
Mm.
long time to do it. But
Yeah.
what was it like for you going full time?
Yeah, it's so funny. It was so funny talking to people about it because like I remember talking to a kid about it was like he asked me what my job was and I said I make YouTube videos and later on in the conversation I talked about how like something about it requiring effort and he was like, "What kind of effort? You just need to walk around with a camera." And I'm like I'm like, "Oh, really? Is it that easy? Why don't you try?"
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's there's a lot involved. Like some of my videos will take between 50 and 100 hours to make.
Yeah.
Um and they're big projects. For other YouTubers, they might be able to make multiple videos per week and spend a few hours per video. It depends on the
Mm-hmm.
niche. For unfortunately for me, I picked Minecraft Hardcore, which is go big or go home.
Yeah.
Which is good fun because it means I get to be creative, but it's also like there's a bit of pressure there where I can't do little things unless I want little results. But anyway, with full time, um, I guess I'd already experienced working from home, so I'd already developed a lot of discipline for what I was talking about earlier with how I start work at a certain time, I finish at a certain time, I have breaks. So I'd already learned a lot of that discipline.
Yeah.
The crazy thing was when I stopped talking about how talking to my wife, be like, I want to work on the video, and stopped saying that and just started saying I need to work.
That's
It wasn't like I want to go play Minecraft now. It's like, all right, I need to work now.
yeah.
It's
That's
instead of I want, it turned into I need, which
yeah.
is strange.
Like that's what I do. When it's time for me to start, I just say, okay, I'm gonna go work now. And right now, my main job, I guess I should say, I've got two jobs. One of them is YouTube. The other one, I work for an education company that provides services to university students. What I do is I guess you could say I'm like a writing coach. I look at students' academic papers and I go through it and tell them exactly what's wrong with their writing. So I am the grammar police.
Yep. We need
But
people like you around. It's good.
but right now it's quiet. So I'm
Yeah.
devoting a lot more time to YouTube and Twitch. But I do still do some of that. But it's going to get very busy in about a month. And it's going to not busy until around June.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically what it's like for me. But I do tell people I'm working, and I am.
Yes. It's always funny talking to people like that just completely don't understand how YouTube could possibly be a job. And I kind of just find it funny for like sometimes sometimes it can be irritating, maybe insulting how people can respond. Like I remember telling at my part-time job, I was working as a teacher's assistant in a school.
Right.
And the topic came up in like a round table lunchtime discussion that I was a YouTuber with all the teachers. And one of the teachers, who I knew kind of well, she looked up my channel and she said, I'm sorry, I just don't understand why anyone would want to watch your videos. And I'm like, well, thanks. But then there's other times where it's kind of hilarious where like my mum was telling me she was talking to an old like friend from way back and her friend went on this huge rant about how her son, who was about maybe a young adult, who was living in their basement and wasn't getting a job and was trying to make YouTube videos and Minecraft videos and play video games. And I don't know like the context of like how serious this guy was about this stuff. And she was just like, my mum's friend was just ranting about it. Funnily enough, her name was Karen. And she was just ranting about it being like, it's just absolutely ridiculous that anyone could do that for a job. It's not realistic. And then my mum was like, yeah, well, my son, he actually does it as a full-time job and he's got like 80,000 subscribers. And she was just like, Karen was like, what? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like one of those funny times. And most people just like, they may not understand like anything about it, but they still say like, that's really cool. What the heck? That's crazy. And they'll ask kind of funny questions. Like one of the teachers at school asked me, so what, do you just like play Minecraft with the record button on and hope something cool happens and then turn that into a video?
Wow.
And I guess that's how I started off by doing it. Yeah, in a way. But now definitely not. I can't like just do that. Yeah, so it does make for pretty interesting conversations, and even having 93,000 subscribers, people will raise their eyebrows. I remember when I announced on Twitter when I was at like, I don't know, 80,000 subs that I was going full time,
Hmm.
and I had people ask in the replies, "Are you even big enough to go full time?" And I was just
Hmm.
like, "Of course. I know what I'm doing. No, like, yeah, I'm fine." But I guess other people at the size of me, like this, as far as subscriber count goes, because that's not how like necessarily how you should measure size, but um
Yeah, views is
they
the important
yeah
thing.
yeah yeah, like I could have gone full time when I had 10,000 subscribers.
Hmm.
I just didn't know if it was going to continue consistently
Yeah.
making me enough money to be full time. Um, whereas then you say you work two jobs, and you've got how many subs you got now? You're in like your 50,000s.
Yeah, I've got
Um,
just about to reach 53,000.
yeah, and you're not full time yet. Like it's just
No.
different per channel.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think
yeah.
one of the big differences is the videos that I do that get all the views are tutorials, and they're all fairly short.
Yeah.
So this is a bit of YouTube talk here. RPM, which is the revenue per thousand views,
Mm.
is a lot lower for short videos than it is for, let's say, a 20 to 25-minute video.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
you can place ads throughout any
Mm,
video that's longer than 8 minutes.
mm.
So I find that my Let's Plays have higher RPM. I do have another channel where I'm playing No Man's Sky, and my RPM is triple of my Minecraft videos.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
So there are times when I'm looking at the revenue between the two, and it's so interesting because I get 10 times the views for Minecraft, but
Mm.
my revenue is only 4 times as much for Minecraft.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's part of the reason why I'm also going to be focusing a lot on Let's Plays this year on for
Yeah.
Minecraft, because I know the audience is there. Hardcore is a big
Mm.
thing right now, but I'm also doing
Yeah.
Create, and Create
Oh, yeah.
mod is a fairly trendy right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm having fun with
Very
it.
interesting. Yeah.
It's a really big learning curve
Oh,
with
absolutely.
that.
I remember I tried it once, and
Hmm.
I was like, just trying to do something really simple. Like, I think I was trying to make a windmill,
Yeah,
and I gave up.
yeah.
It was so difficult. Yeah. Yeah.
So, if you have any advice for any aspiring YouTuber, what could you say to them to help make it a bit easier for them?
Mm. Yeah, well, I think the most important thing is to just like you hear this everywhere, but I wanna reinforce it
Hmm.
and encourage it. Just upload videos. Um, that helps you practice your editing skills. It helps you practice your thumbnails, your script writing, your ideas. Believe it or
Hmm.
not, that's something you practice is how like is coming up with ideas. That's something to practice, not just something that just happens to you. Um, like just that's being creative, right?
Yeah,
So you practice your creativity by uploading videos. And so just keep on uploading, and I've heard it said that about after about maybe 100 videos, you'll start to get a grip on what you want to do
yeah.
with your channel. It took me a while, like sure, even while I was blowing up, I was still not really sure what I was doing
Hmm.
in the sense of like what I was going to keep doing, because I can't just be the guy that plays the snapshots in hardcore mode, because those are only out for like coming out like for half of the year. Where am I going to be for the other half?
Yeah.
The update hype dies down. Like it started to die down for me. So I was like, what do I do with my channel now? Because I was getting heaps of views from playing the snapshots and doing crazy things to do with sniffers and armor trims and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and then eventually I realized, well, my sniffer aeroplane that was just a very me kind of video.
Yeah.
And from there, when I realized that, I started just committing to making really silly builds that were just kind of bonkers.
Right.
And after uploading a few now, because I started with making the giant Jeb, and that one didn't do so well. But then I made a giant wheat island, which went really well, and the seagull army, which went really well, and then the poisonous potato factory, which is going really well. It's like now I've started to pick up like this is what people are subscribing for and what people are expecting from me.
Yeah.
And you kind of just pick it up from there. Whereas when you just start something, when you upload one video and it flops and it's a completely new video, completely new concept, it makes sense that it flops because your audience hasn't exactly found it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, just uploading videos, upload lots of videos, try different things. If you've just started a YouTube channel, you've got nothing to lose. You don't you can just do whatever. Like you could try doing just uploading Minecraft videos on the channel. You could try vlogging. You could try any niche. It's generally you should stick to having like the same niche on the one channel. But
Yes.
It could even be a good idea to make a dummy channel and you just upload anything from any niche just for the sake of practicing videos. That could be worth trying as well. Just worth trying, but don't expect it to go anywhere. Just other than the thing you want to expect to go somewhere is your skills.
Yeah, I received a comment that's related to this very, very closely from Minty Skittles. And they asked, in your opinion, what's more important for starting a channel? Quality of content or consistency of content?
Yeah, well, consistency can be different in like it depends on the situation. Because if you're uploading videos weekly, that's consistent if you can keep it up to weekly, but if you miss 1 week, then that's inconsistent. But if it's the same for monthly, if you're uploading 1 video per month, that's just as consistent as uploading 1 video per week.
Yeah.
Because you're sticking to like a routine. And then consistency is also like having the same font in your video and thumbnails and having the same kind of style. Like, you don't want to have in one video you're like a depressed booger, and then in the next video you're an energetic coffee cup. This is random objects that I'm like you gotta have a consistent kind of personality to present in your videos, where people can like they know what to expect. For my videos, I'm being inconsistent when I don't play a song in my video. Because my audience expects that and you could say hopes for that. And so sometimes I will have a break from songs and no one really says anything about it, but it is important to me. Like it's a part of my formula. It's what separates my channel from other hardcore channels is like I don't really know anyone else that just like goes and sings ridiculous songs about a poisonous potato despawning, like yeah, so, but then quality content is really important too. But if you're just starting out, I would say like, quantity is more important than quality when you're starting and learning. And then, while you're doing quantity, you will learn how to do quality.
Yeah.
You will learn how to be consistent in your upload schedule, in your fonts, in your personality and presentation, all that stuff. And you will learn a lot when you just upload a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I would say. Just upload. And with each video, try to improve something. It doesn't have to be much, just improve something and keep carrying that over. And eventually your quality is going to go way up. Yes, and I would even say that the quality of your equipment doesn't have to be great in the beginning.
No.
Because you're just starting out. Just use what you've got. And if you find that people are watching you and you're growing, then start investing in it. But just
Yeah,
you
definitely.
got to start somewhere.
Yeah. And I think as far as like equipment goes, something that lots of people don't realize is that microphone is more important than video.
Yes, it is. And I had a really, really bad one.
Yeah. Listening to something that hurts your ears is way worse than watching something that is just kind of lame to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, voice is very important. Music as well, if you do put music in. And of course, for anyone who is starting a YouTube channel, just use the YouTube music library. It's free.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And
So good.
but if you want to go on to something else, you can use something like Epidemic Sound, which is what I use for my channel, because I use a lot of background sound effects as well, because it has so many of them. But don't just take a song from somewhere and put it in your video.
Yeah.
You'll have copyright issues.
Yes, that is true. And also, don't just put a song that you like in your video.
Yeah.
Like,
it should
and
fit.
I'm talking about even if it's royalty free. Don't just put random stuff in random moments. Like you gotta it's like we were talking about earlier about the flow of the video. You don't want to have a constant upbeat kind of tune in the video. You got to have a flow. I generally like to start with something kind of upbeat because we're like, all right, we're gonna get into an adventure. We're gonna build this. We're gonna it's exciting, and then you got to pick the right songs for the right moments, which is definitely a skill that is there's a lot of it's a tricky one because you got to have a good ear for it. If you're a musician, then I think you have an advantage there. And some people just have a gift for it, who just have a really good ear for what music fits what moments. And then some people, they're awful at it.
Yes.
to be brutal, with that, but yeah, you got to pick the right songs for the right moments. You can't have this epic climactic song in the middle of the video, and then you're only halfway through, and it feels like the video just ended, but then you've still got heaps of the video to go.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I try to match the music with what's happening. So if there's any kind of fighting, it's going to be energetic. And if I'm building and I'm doing not really a time lapse, but I'm just placing blocks. I take very short clips of myself doing that, and I'm just building whatever I'm building, and I usually put in some happy music in the background. And then I stop that clip when I'm transitioning over to something else. So I just try to keep the mood, and I even have some dark music that I play when there's anything like going underground or in the nether or something, just to make it a bit spookier.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with how the soundtrack went for my Herobrine video. I got all these really dark and spooky songs to play, and it made the video so cool because of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that one out. I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, and with music, I generally like to have only a different song play each minute. I don't otherwise it can generally go on too long. There are exceptions. Like the finale time lapse, I will sometimes play the entire song. But yeah, generally throughout the video, about 1 minute is a good amount of time. You don't want to have it too short where you start getting this hype song playing and then it just kind of cuts out, and then it's kind of disappointing and you're like, what? Kind of confused. And you don't want to have it come out of nowhere. It's good to let it build up. But yeah, generally 1 minute is a good length to have a song play in each segment of the video. Yeah.
So I do have one last question for you about being a content creator. It's not always fun in games. What has been the biggest challenge for you?
Oh, good question. Um, hmm. I guess sometimes it can be rough. It can be really hard to just take a break.
Mm-hmm.
It can be really hard to relax and switch off
Right.
because with YouTube, you either have to stop uploading for however long your break needs to be, or you work twice as hard leading up to your break and then upload extra videos that are scheduled during your break,
Yeah.
and then you need an even longer break because of how you work twice as hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, like it's tough. And then getting back into it because I had my first holiday since becoming a YouTuber,
Mm-hmm.
like my first proper like week and a half, not just like a couple days, but like a proper holiday
Yeah.
where I was camping and I was completely just like switched off. Um, and so it was difficult to get out of work and just switch off. And I mean, it wasn't too difficult actually, because I didn't have any reception and I just sat around a campfire for
Mm-hmm.
a week and a half straight. I really didn't do much at all. I went for walks, and I slept and I hung out with my family, and that was about it.
Right.
But then coming back into work was really difficult. Like, my body was still in holiday mode, and just
Yeah.
like to go on my computer and work and work and work, just like before I went on the holiday, it was difficult. Like, I found myself procrastinating. I'd open Twitter, I'd scroll, I'd check my analytics every 5 minutes, which is really bad for productivity and
Yeah, it
completely
is.
pointless.
I'm I'm
Um,
I'm always looking at my analytics, and uh, it's one of those things that you really shouldn't pay too much attention to.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's way better to look at it like, I mean, if I had really good self-control, maybe I'd only look at it twice per day. Once in
Yeah.
the morning, once before maybe not directly before I go to bed, but maybe like after dinner. Um, and that would be good. That would be a good discipline because when you look at it every hour, everything seems so much slower.
It does.
Whereas if you go like the full day without looking, and then you look, and you're like, oh, yeah, okay, I got I got this many views, this many subs, and that's not bad. Nice. Rather than just like you watch it staying static at this many views, this many subs, or you watch it go down, but actually it's not going down because later you check again and it was wrong, and the views go back up for that hour. You know,
Yeah.
like it's just slow. But
Yeah.
yeah, getting back in. Sorry, you go.
Yeah, my second, I started a second channel just to put up those other videos that don't fit on my main channel. It's mostly just talking, and I've only put up 3 videos so far, other than the old shorts that I had on it, still have on it, and passed just 100 subscribers, so it's not very
Nice.
big at all. But the third video, I just remember yesterday I saw it's got 400 views. That's pretty good for a channel with
Yeah,
100 subscribers.
yeah,
And
that's
then
decent.
this morning I wake up with 1,700 views on it. I'm like,
Wow.
okay, that's very interesting. I gotta keep making videos like this.
Yeah.
A little bit controversial.
Mm.
Sometimes controversy is you can put in a bit, but it's kind of me responding to general attitude of people in the community saying this is all 1.21 is,
Yeah.
and I just said
Yep.
no, it's not. I don't even know why
Yep.
people are talking like this. Do you remember last year? And
Yes.
I've got some people commenting in it already with uh, I'd like to say that most people comment with very well thought out responses, but some people decide to go the way of name calling.
Yep.
And they were saying that the Mojang devs are lazy and incompetent. And no,
I
no,
agree.
they're
Definitely
not.
not.
No, they're
Mm-hmm.
very hardworking, and they're doing their best.
Yep. They just don't
Yeah.
understand what it's like
Nope.
to, like, as in the commenters don't understand what it's like to work on the world's best-selling game that
Yep.
runs on multiple consoles and two different engines with two different codes and have
Hmm.
to run by every update with a community that hates them and also
And
with
also
the
loves them.
Microsoft and also loves them, yeah,
Yeah.
and community that plays super flat, hardcore, creative, mini games, all sorts of
Hmm.
stuff. It's, they're just lazy.
Yep. And it's
Yeah.
kind of like with YouTube as well. People don't understand what goes on behind the
No.
scenes, which is the
Mm.
reason why this is called Behind the Crafter. Is we want to
Mm.
let people know this is what it's like to be a YouTuber. This is what it's like to do all of this playing a game that everyone thinks is for kids. But there's a whole artistic community that
Yep.
has some incredible videos
Absolutely.
and like one of them or a couple of them actually, Gemini Tay and Pearlescent Moon, they were doing that kind of thing. Now they're in Hermitcraft. So there
Mm.
you go. So
There you go.
it's
Yeah.
like you can do pretty much anything with the game.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like Lego, just in a computer.
Yep.
Like
And
adults can enjoy Lego and be creative with Lego, just like in Minecraft with blocks.
go to a Lego store, and half the stuff in there is for 18 and older.
Yep.
And it's ridiculously expensive.
Yeah. Thing is, we don't have Lego stores where I am.
Ah,
We're not advanced enough. But I have seen a Lego store
yeah.
when I think in Canada. So
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So, anyways, I would like to thank you for joining me as my first guest. This is
Thanks so much for
episode
having me, and
number
I'm
2.
honored to be the first. Wow.
Yeah, well, you were also the first to respond. So,
All
I got
right.
no, I've got someone else to. I've got a couple others that are going to be coming up in the next 2 episodes, and
Awesome.
I'm not going to say who they are. I will give some
Top
some
secret
hints.
information.
Yeah, I'll give some.
Is it Mr. Beast?
I wish. Uh,
That would be so
Yeah.
interesting.
that
Yeah.
would be interesting.
Talking to that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Would you be like nervous? Just like kind of. Oh, I would be.
probably
It'd probably
a
make me
bit.
feel relaxed, I reckon. I feel like it'd be pretty chill.
I think
But
so.
yeah.
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 So for the listeners, I would like to ask you to leave comments, leave questions, because in every episode of the podcast, I will be responding to comments and questions, and I'll be posing them to my guests as well, just like I did today. You remember that one?
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
and we'd just love to see any comments, any ideas, and who do you want to see as a guest? Because I'd love to have
Sounds
some
good.
ideas. I have a list of many people, but I would like to have any suggestions, which would be absolutely wonderful. But I would like to thank you very much, and I think we can say goodbye now.
Goodbye.